On a humid summer night in June 1995, a teenage girl stumbled barefoot through the streets of Harper's Mill, Texas, whispering one word over and over. "They're gone." No one knew what she meant until they entered the family home and found nothing. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no blood. Just cold plates of dinner still sitting on the table. A house frozen in time, its family vanished. The McCarthy family had lived in Harper's Mill for just 2 years. John McCarthy, a quiet mechanic, Elise, a school teacher, and their 2 children, Emma, 14, and Daniel, 10. They lived in a modest one-story home on the edge of town. Nothing seemed unusual. Emma was in the school drama club. Daniel loved trains. Elise baked cookies for the neighbors. A postcard-perfect family. That night, everything changed. Emma was found disoriented at 12:03 a.m., knocking on a neighbor's door. She was alone, trembling. When police entered the McCarthy house minutes later, they found no one inside. All 4 beds had been slept in, but only Emma reappeared. Every door and window was locked from the inside. The backyard gate was chained. Nothing was stolen. Daniel's toys were left mid-play, and Emma's school books were still open on her desk. A few hours later, a deputy found a single photograph under a rock in the backyard. It was a Polaroid of the McCarthy family, but the image was damaged. Their faces were smudged, almost deliberately obscured. No one could explain where the photo came from. It hadn't been seen before. It wasn't in any family albums. Emma regained consciousness in the hospital later that day. She was dehydrated, bruised, and had a fractured wrist. She insisted she had been pulled out of bed in the middle of the night. She said she heard whispers, someone telling her to be quiet, and that Daniel had vanished without a sound. Then she said something stranger. "I saw them, watching, behind the curtain." She wouldn't say more. She began drawing the same symbol repeatedly in her hospital sketchpad. A crooked, deformed sun. The same symbol would be found scratched into the back of Daniel's closet, hidden behind a loose panel. 2 days later, Daniel was found alive. He was discovered locked inside a supply closet at the local elementary school. No one knew how he got there. He was malnourished, scared, and silent. Emma and Daniel reunited at the hospital, but something had changed. Daniel wouldn't speak. He flinched at loud sounds. He scratched endlessly at his skin and refused to be alone. When a nurse searched Daniel's backpack, she found the same Polaroid, the same image of the family, but this time, clearer. Behind them, in the corner of the frame, a figure stood near the fence. Tall, thin, without a face. Daniel had no memory of the figure, or anything. Only the image of the crooked sun, which he continued to draw. The school supply closet, where Daniel was found, had the same symbol carved into the wall, under peeling layers of paint. It had been there long before the McCarthys ever moved to Harper's Mill. The crooked sun wasn't new. In 1971, in the neighboring town of Benfield, 8 children disappeared over the course of 3 years. Only 3 were ever found. Each had lost their memory. Each had the same sun symbol carved somewhere nearby. Police at the time dismissed it as coincidence, mass hysteria, urban legend. The files were archived and forgotten. Until 1995, when the McCarthy case reopened them. In both Benfield and Harper's Mill, the same pattern emerged. Children who went missing returned hollow. Quiet. Changed. Witnesses described a figure in the woods, not a man, not a shadow. Just there. Medical reports showed strange adrenaline spikes in the children, as if they had lived through hours of extreme terror. No explanation. Emma's therapist, a retired Army psychologist, said her trauma responses resembled soldiers returning from combat. And yet she never left her neighborhood. The McCarthy family moved out of Harper's Mill within a year. They changed their names, cut contact, and left Texas completely. The house was sold quietly, but the symbol in Daniel's closet? It's still there. Encased in plexiglass by the new owners, it glows faintly under blacklight. Paranormal investigators who visited the home report flickering electronics, distant whispers, and inexplicable cold spots. In 2001, a 9-year-old girl named Sophie Lint disappeared from a farmhouse 40 miles away. The police found the same sun scratched into a window pane in her bedroom. Sophie was never found. Some say it's a pattern, something that returns every few decades. Some believe it's psychological, a mass delusion seeded in the minds of children. Others whisper about something older, something that waits, that watches. No one knows what the crooked sun means. No one knows who or what was in the background of the photo. But one thing remains chilling. The symbol in Daniel's closet had been there for at least 30 years, long before he ever set foot in the room. So the question isn't, what happened to the McCarthy family? The question is, who was in that house before them? And is it still there? If you enjoy these kinds of haunting true stories, mysteries that linger long after the video ends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what you think the crooked sun really means.